We are going to be talking about another part of our Philippines trip, and this time we are going to
Dumaguete.
On
the island of Negros.
Yeah, which is just below the island of Cebu. And we initially, when we were planning this trip to the Philippines, we were going to make a lot of different stops in different islands. Like, we wanted to see as much of the Philippines as we possibly could. And this was one of the stops because of this amazing turtle island, basically. It's called Apo Island, and you will see that in this video. But just gonna talk to you guys a little bit about how we got there. So of course, we took like a little plane. They have, I think it's, I don't know what the airline's called. There's a few different airlines
Cebu
that we
Pacific was one of the big ones that we took.
And those ones are more like island hopping airplanes, super cheap. I think they're like around maybe 20, 30 bucks a person.
One-way trips are $20 to $30 each.
Yeah, so not bad. And so we took a flight there, and then we took a little taxi cab. What are they called?
I don't remember. Jeepneys.
And that was, I think, our first time riding in one of those.
I think it was.
Yeah, and that was an experience. We were a little terrified because they go fast and they swerve in and out of traffic into the other. Just landed in Dumaguete. Here's our plane.
80 passengers.
Yeah, there's about 80 of us. Here's the little terminal. Resort very early. It was not check-in time, but they were so sweet and held onto our luggage, told us to go eat breakfast, and then they hooked us up with a tour and a van all to ourselves to go see the beautiful island that day because we didn't really have too much planned to do that day.
Right. So we jumped in a van and we cruised around to some waterfalls, some lakes, and you'll see all those in the videos. And it was really neat to see them. Yeah. It's a really cool island.
Yeah, it's just covered in palm trees. Like hills and hills of palm trees. It was, and then you'll see the beaches too. They're black sand beaches. So that was really cool. So we are just out here. Got here to our, say the name? Pura Vida Resort. And that is the ocean, my friends. And we're going to go explore these little huts over here as soon as we're done eating. It's about 6:30 in the morning.
There's our bus. Our driver.
Here we go.
Driver Mario. Say hi, Mario. We'll have to get a picture of the sign on the way back. Pulang Baro? Is that it?
I have no idea.
No?
Nope.
Look at that. Wow. This is amazing.
came into our room. It is so cool.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. Crazy little chairs. I love, they wrote a little note on our bed. So cute. All wood. Show you what the outside looks like. Little closet. Bathroom. Oh, this will be fun for the next 2 nights. We love it. And then we have a little balcony right here. Everything is wood. And then everyone else's little huts out there. And then the next morning was when we went to Apo Island. You want to tell us about how that all came to be?
So everybody knows where the boats leave from to go to Apo Island. So you just tell the jeepney driver, you say, hey, I want to go to Apo Island, or the port for it. And most everybody speaks English down there. And we jumped in it. He took us down. When we got out, we were expecting a little bit more. There's not a lot to it. It is a tiny little 12 by 12 hut. Somebody's sitting on the porch in a plastic chair, taking down your names and taking your money.
Yeah, they just had a little clipboard and didn't really speak too much English, and you just hoped, and they gave us an option of either getting on a group boat with a few other people, and we needed to wait around until that boat was filled, or we could rent out our own boat and just go. And so we, of course, wanted to get there early and be able to get there before the crowds, and so we just rented our own boat, and there was us and 2 other people on the boat, like the drivers.
The drivers. We had our own boat.
Yeah.
And it cost us about, I want to say $70 for the round trip for the 2 of us.
Yep.
Now that's the boat cost. So if you were on with other people, then it would cost less. It would just take that and break it up between the amount of passengers that were there.
Yep. And the ride out there, I wish we would have filmed more of it.
Yeah.
We were not the best at filming at this time. This was one of our first trips we ever filmed, so apologize ahead of time for the quality of videos that we put out. We look back and we're like, wow, we've learned a lot. But the boat ride out there, massive waves, and they were just splashing in on us, and we were holding on for dear life. And as we would go up a wave, they'd throttle the engine, and then they'd kill it as it went down the wave, and then they'd floor it again and then kill it. And so we're just like, we're not gonna survive this. And it was a 45-minute boat ride out to the island. And so that was an adventure. But then we got there, we looked at it, they showed us a smaller net, and we're like, oh, that's all we get to swim in. But no, it was outside of that smaller net that we got to swim in. And tell them what you said to the guide.
Eduardo was our guide, and I'm used to hoping for things but not expecting them. So when he said, oh yeah, we're gonna go out and see sea turtles, I thought, okay, that'll be cool if we see one. If we don't, we don't, you know. And I says, hey Eduardo, are you gonna show us a sea turtle today? And he looked at me like I was asking a weird question. He's like, yeah. And I thought, well, cool, okay, we'll leave it at that. And did we see any sea turtles?
Yeah.
We did.
I think looking back at the video, it was very much like, oh, well, there's one over there, but there's one over here too. Which one should we film? Like there were so many sea turtles, and they were big.
They were big turtles.
Yeah. So we were rocked around a little bit by the waves. It was definitely a choppier day, but it was amazing, and we just lived it up at that place. And
it was my first time snorkeling, which is kind of tough to snorkel in choppy waters like that, but I ended up coming around. But I wish I would have practiced a little bit more beforehand.
Yeah. And then we took that boat ride back and hung out at the resort.
Vida Beach Resort. How are ya? I went to Malatapai. Probably saying it wrong. And the T and the P are probably switched. So anyways, from there, we got us a little boat. Just me and Jessica, and we went to Apo Island. Apo Island is what you can see there in the distance. And it was awesome. What you do out there is you come in with the boat, come into the launch. Oh yeah, the ride out there is scary, huh, Jessica?
Terrifying. Oh my gosh.
The waves were huge. The waves were huge. But those little boats, they handle those waves really well. We were happy with it. And so then we get out there, and the guy that we had with us that drove the boat, there was 3 guys in the crew. One of them stayed with us as our guide, as a local guide. His name was Eduardo, and he was awesome. So he stayed with us, kind of walked us through the whole thing, and then when it came time to go out and snorkel, you have to have a guide with your group, and he was our guide. So that worked out really well.
He was so good.
You can still see your line.
Can you?
From your snorkel goggles. Yeah. So you gotta register every person. It's like 100 Philippine pesos each to register at the National Preserve or whatever it's called. Then you gotta go rent your gear and pay your guide. And to rent your gear was 200. And to pay your guide was 500. Well, 300. So I guess, yeah. There's 300 to pay your guide. So, and then we had lunch, and we got a side of pineapple. We had chicken and rice and the side of pineapple. Lunch ended up being 650 Philippine pesos. The boat ride over was 3,000, which you can split with a group, but we didn't have anybody that was in our group, and we didn't want to sit around and wait to see if anybody else showed up. So we just went. But the boat was 3,000. That's up to 5 passengers or 6. That's up to 6 passengers. So you could split that pretty well. That'd be about 500 each if you filled it up, huh? So anyways, I asked Eduardo, I says, hey, are you going to show us the sea turtle today? And he says, yeah. Like it wasn't even a question. He was so confident in it. I was like, all right, we're going to see a sea turtle. 2 minutes into it, guess what we saw? We saw a sea turtle. We ended up seeing a bunch, huh?
A lot. And they were huge. So big.
And we got close. It was way nice. So it was a way cool experience. Definitely well worth it. That's exactly why we went to, well, exactly why we came to Dumaguete. If it wasn't for that Apo Island sea turtle deal, we wouldn't have come here. But we went there, and it delivered. It was awesome. It was amazing.
Hey, that's the little island, isn't it?
Yeah, you can kind of get there. Out there on the horizon.
go.
I think somebody's burning something.
Weird.
Yeah.
Never smelled that here.
No.
Just our time in Dumaguete.
It was.
It was very worth it. If you're going to the Philippines, I highly recommend Dumaguete, the island of Negros.
Yep, me too.
Beautiful, beautiful place.
It's an amazing place. If you guys like, follow along, like and subscribe below, and we're going to be putting out a couple more videos of this trip. And again, bear with us. The camera gear wasn't the greatest, and our experience wasn't very good. So, but we tried. But appreciate your time and your help, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.